Hello everyone and welcome to a Game Replays Tournament Season 4 matchup in the finals here. We're at Game 2 of Fnatic MSI versus Complexity Gaming, formerly DWI. We're currently at Game 2, like I just said, and if you're in the future watching this and you don't want any spoilers, be sure to click away now. But we had MSI end up taking Game 1 with a really nice push strat going out there using the Souls Bulwark, Slither, Tempest, taking full advantage of the early game and then just snowballing it into a late game win. I am joined with Onaprayer, and I didn't even know if I mentioned who I am, but I'm Minoxen. Our sponsors for this tournament, thank you so much for that. It is TeamSpeak 3, Own TV, SteelSeries Professional Gaming Gear. If you did not hear Game 1, the first place prize that they are battling over is $1,400, 2,200 gold coins, and 5 SteelSeries Siberia V2 headsets, an $80 value piece. And then second place is going to be getting $700, 1,200 gold coins, and 5 SteelSeries 4H headsets, approximately about a $60 value each. As I said, I'm joined with Onaprayer. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Looking forward to the second game. After the first one, saw an unusual, well, I guess if you haven't seen the first one and you're interested in not being spoiled, cover yours for about 5 seconds. We did see a Flux last game, which was really interesting pickup, so I'm hoping we'll see something as off this game as there was last game, even just the one. As long as there's always one element, like I don't care if there's 4 heroes we always see, as long as there's the one new one, I'm happy.
And actually, looking at the pick so far, it looks like they did let a couple of tricks out of the bag here, as we are going to see Toronto on Torturer and MSI picking up Plague Rider this time around as well. So do you want to touch on the bans?
Yeah, they opted to ban Corrupted Disciple and Kraken this time around. Corrupted Disciple coming from MSI in favor of Torture that was banned last game, and then there's the Kraken being banned this game from Complexity in favor, well, instead of Plague Rider last game. So it's kind of a little different because you would have expected they banned like the first option from both teams, like Plague Rider and Corrupted Disciple are both picks that they'd rather have. So instead of banning those again, they pick, they're banning the ones that they wanted to pick secondary. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing Toronto on this Torturer. He always plays a nice Torturer, especially with the support of his team backing him up there, always making sure that he gets his farm and maintains a strong presence throughout the game. But yeah, so far, not a whole lot of picks out so far. But yeah, we did see last game, we did see the new Souls Bulwark, and I believe that we're going to be arranging an interview after the end of this, so we'll hopefully get to speak to both teams and find out what their thoughts are on some of the new changes, new heroes, and things of that sort. But right now, we do have Toronto with Torturer, Soul Stealer, and Andromeda on the Hellborn team, and it looks like MSI might be going for... Are they going to go ahead and run a Pebbles here with this?
Looks like that's what they want to go for, MSI, yep.
Why are they talking in all?
Not because Nova might have been AFK, so in case he random, they wanted to call out their picks.
Ah, I see.
So this is actually a lineup that they've had before. I've seen them run.
Yeah, I think that me and you actually cast one of the matchups that they had against the new SK, wasn't it? That they had? That they beat with one of these? Yeah. They ran pretty much this exact same thing. If they get Devo, that wouldn't be the same, but they did have, I believe, Plague Rider, Pebbles, Slither, and Silhouette, and then I can't remember who the other one was.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was pretty much looking to be the same lineup. And yeah, there we go. Because like I was going to say, last time we had a Plague Rider pick versus Complexity, formerly DWI. They picked Arizaya to lane against Plague Rider. This time around, it looks like they're going to lane... I thought they were going to lane Torture, but it looks as though they may put Torture in the tri-lane and have Vindicator, Soul Stealer, Soul lane, since that's typically how they run it. They normally do run... What's interesting is the fact that they... One of the things I said was that they would pick Hammer guaranteed, and there hasn't been a Hammer pickup both last game and this one. Really, really surprising to me. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, They've gone for a sort of interesting lineup. They have Andromeda to swap things out if things get pretty nasty for... Like, because Vindicator doesn't have an escape mechanism, and then if any of their heroes get stuck, they have no they have no real way to escape, no real way to stun their way out of things. So Andromeda is really nice to have on their team. They have the minus armor from Andromeda, they have the minus armor from Soul Stealer, and they're gonna have the Soul's Bulwark on top of that, I'd imagine. Maybe picked up by Torture. They don't really have any real candidate to pick it up, but Soul Stealer and Torture can both get it, but you wouldn't expect them to get it earlier on, although it is fairly cheap.
Yeah, at only 1,800 gold, it's a pretty easy pickup. What I'm really interested in over here is that we see Parasite being picked up. This is the first time I've seen Parasite ran competitively. I don't know if you've seen otherwise, but looks like Fly going to be running on that Parasite. They also have Silhouette, MS Ivy, Pebbles, and Plague Rider rounding out the team there. So interesting, very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure.
Well, he can silence the silencer.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely one way to go.
Also, it's a really nice, like I said, I'm happy. 4 standard picks, and then you have a really unusual pick on top of that. So I'm already happy where this game's heading. As for the situation, you can kind of figure that it's going to go sort of like last one. They're going to have, you know, the duel, the solo, and then you're going to have a semi-tri-lane with Parasite and Jungle coming in. Although he's much more, well, you're the one that's the Parasite, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's much more active in a tri-lane than Tempest would otherwise be, but I'll let you get into it because I pale in comparison to your knowledge.
Well, yeah, Parasite, he's one of those heroes that you can get a really early... I mean, you can deny a creep from whatever lane you want to begin with, and then run into the jungle, take care of a hard camp, basically get instant level 2, so long as it's not like a Minotaur camp, and then you can come out for an immediate quick gank after that. And, you know, you're level 2, at the same time, your solo is hit level 2, you run out there, hopefully you've got a Minotaur or something you can hop into, get a stun off. Definitely a really more gank-oriented jungler, to where you keep the control of that lane. And if they're going to be laning him with, I would imagine maybe Plague Rider, that's just crazy lane control if you lane those two in the same lane, to where Plague can get some denies off on the creeps. Of course, Parasite going to be denying the first one out most likely. It's just, I really love Parasite. I'm really excited to see him here, see what he can be done with in professional hands. So yeah, I guess, what are we paused for right now? Are we waiting for Fly, or he's having further issues?
They didn't actually call it out. He just straight out paused it. I just wanted to know if you use a health potion or mana potion or Rune of the Blight before you jump into creep.
It works.
It continue?
Yeah,
it does?
it continues to tick. Yeah, until
you
pop
can't
out
use
of
it
that
once
creep.
inside, obviously, right?
No, you can't activate
slots.
any items from inside of
Right.
the creep. And any creep that you're in also gains benefit from his Draining Venom, which adds at final level 24% extra damage. So, you know, I myself prefer to pick that up later, because early game it's not really a huge impact. You know, you see some pubs wanting to go the pro decks on it. I'll be curious to see what they do decide to go with for item pickups here. Puzzle Box is really popular since he can hop into those creeps, and it just causes so much damage when he gets that final little Puzzle Box Mauler that can burn 75 mana per swing, and it's swinging crazy fast because you've got the Infest increasing its attack speed and damage. Or will he go for a Hellflower for ultimate disables and increasing his ability outside of a creep? But yeah, it's really excited to see Parasite here, see what they do with him. Hopefully he goes good places with him there.
Yeah, I really like what they've done, and there obviously been some really strong releases by S2 in terms of heroes that could see, you know, competitive play. They're really useful. We saw Flux last game. Now we're going to get a chance to see Parasite. Just, you can tell that the heroes have a really nice skill set that can really impact the game, you know, early, mid, and even late game, just with their abilities. So it's nice to finally see them implemented, because people tend to go with the safe route, what they've seen, what they know, what they've, you know, experienced. It's really hard to fit in new heroes and really take the time out to scrim, because you can play them in, you know, public games, matchmaking games, but it's really hard to scrim against someone and fit them into your lineup and really just practice it out. I don't know.
And get a true gauge of, you know, when you're facing competent players, what they're going to do, how much are they going to be jumping, you know, going into the jungle to interrupt you. You know, because in pub games a lot of the time, people, you know, even though you pick Parasite, they know you're probably going to be coming out for the level 2 gank, but they'll just, you know, they'll play way too far forward, and since they will have a Plague Rider and him being able to deny creeps, they're going to keep that lane pushed really far up close to the tower, which is going to give Parasite really nice opportunity for ganks pretty much consistently there, and I'm just kind of curious to see what Fly's going to go with on item pickups, but trying to steer away from Parasite. I guess we do see the... as Pebble's talking about the Parasite massive failure possible.
Was that their last pick? It was, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I can just see them in invent and fly, just like, okay, guys, we're going Parasite. And then the rest of them are just, you know, okay. But he's shown himself to be, you know, well capable of picking a good team, so they probably figure, or unless they discussed it beforehand, that'll be another question you can ask them. Hopefully we get the post-game interview. If in fact MSI does win, you know, this game, I may be jumping the gun, but
well,
they
we
did
may
have
get
a
winner or loser interview. I'm not sure whether we get both or not, but it'd be curious to ask MSI what their thoughts are on the hero, especially how well he performs this game.
Yeah, I think it's more a mind game thing. Like last game, Complexity, I mean, it's well known that MSI was talking about using Flux in a game, and then Complexity picking him up last game, they may have felt like, alright guys, we better, you know, pick one of the heroes that people haven't played before someone else does it, and we can't, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like before, you know, before the tri-lane became, you know, the bread and butter of every Han game, you saw MSI do it really, really well, and then that, you know, everything had to kind of try and adjust to that. You saw the pandemonium with Bot or Fly there rocking out the tri-lane and dominating all the games, so...
yeah. What about his item pickups? You also get this many mana potions, and then
mana is one of his banes. He
Yeah,
really runs short on mana. I like to prefer to get the but since he got so many wards, he wasn't going to be able to have the same mana, gold. But if you get a Ring of the Teacher on him early, to where it gives the armor bonus, because any auras that he has also benefits the creep that he's in, so he gets that nice little extra armor bonus, and his level 1 of Infest is not really super powerful, so having that's going to be a nice nice touch there to have that extra mana regen, and so he'll just basically pop that, get into a creep that he knows he's going to stay in for a while, and hop back out. Now I'm curious, he does go ahead and have that, so he's going to go ahead and deny. Oh, they're sending Plague to mid to... wow, they're going to deny 2 creeps middle, it looks like, or... Nope, he's continuing on towards top.
Yeah, the reason I was asking about whether or not the items that he pops beforehand, the consumables work inside, because I saw the 4 mana potions, like, that would be interesting if he could pop it right before, and then that would solve some of his mana issues, because by the time he, you know, left the creep, he'd be able to have another one, and he wouldn't suffer so much from that sort of trouble.
Yeah, the only real negative aspect of using mana pots, and I usually grab a couple to start with as well, and it looks like he might actually be heading up top lane, not going to be bothering with any jungle, so, curious to see there, since they're going to go ahead and run him into the tri-lane. Kind of a little bit disappointed, but that would leave their lane weakened if they did go ahead and run him in the jungle. They might go ahead and decide to run him up here in the Hellborn jungle to give them a nice little bit of added jump-out potential.
Yeah, that's what I said about last game. The fact they had the semi-jungle with Tempest, I figured they were going to do the same thing. 2 in the lane and then him on the side. So if they were going to have 2 top, I expected him to kind of go there and help them out. That's pretty much...
And yep, he's doing exactly what you need to. After this Catman group here, he probably will go ahead and be level 2 whenever he splits out of this, and that'll give him a nice little bit of extra experience and stuff. And you see the ward coming out in the jungle to block that hard creep camp that he would most likely have been utilizing there for the nice gank potential and things like that. So there's his level 2, finished up his creep camp up top. His level 2 goes for Leech, which is the same thing that I would probably go for. And now he's probably going to go ahead and check out the other hard camp, since that's the most efficient way to level him typically.
We have 2 from bottom heading towards the middle lane.
Yeah, we do have Behemoth and Andro lining up for this gank on mid. Silhouette so far doing pretty decently. She's up to level 2, while Soulstealer's still only sitting at 1. Gonna have to definitely play a little defensive here and hope that she doesn't get caught out by this Behemoth stun. Could spell really bad news. As, yep, they're gonna go ahead and maybe cancel this gank. Looks like they are. So Behemoth going to go ahead and roam back out of here, heading maybe towards the river. Wow, okay. I'm not sure really where they're wanting to go with this. They keep trying to reposition. Silhouette still unaware. Does get stunned. Not blocked off, though. Is stunned. Parasite coming out. Lands a nice stun to save the day. Coming in here, trying out to help out this middle lane. He's going to have to jump out of the creep before it gets taken. There we go. Does so. Nicely done from Parasite, coming out at the last second to land that stun and save his teammate. Very nicely done, setting up the mid gank as he was hoping to.
Yeah, that was some nice piece of work. I wanted to know, do you gain experience for the creep you're in if it naturally decays, or do you have to exit it?
I've had sometimes where it naturally decays and it seems like the gold doesn't pop up, but I'm pretty sure that even if it naturally decays, you do gain all of the benefits from it. You just have to
click it.
Do you have to click it to pop out?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that is. It's just one of those habits. I always click out of it. I never let it expire, so I wasn't really 100% on that. But we do have confirmation that it is. You have to explode out of the creep to go ahead and make sure that it's gonna give you its golden experience.
Yep. Shout out EvaTech for the awesome live stream and his help.
Insight for sure. That is the one problem with Parasite, is being able to locate where the little bugger is at. There he goes. He's hopped out of that, and he's down actually in the Legion jungle now, doing a little bit of farming, trying to maintain levels. And like I said, they are going to go ahead and run him down here with this Plague Rider. I guess they were hoping to set up an early level 1 gank on middle. You know, since it doesn't really matter which jungle he's in, so long as he has a little bit of benefit. As there's the jump coming out,
Yeah,
nicely done.
Kiwi Kid actually missing his stun onto Plague Rider.
Oh, and this is not going to go well. Behemoth, Vindicator, and Andromeda coming in on the MSI dual lane up top here. Nice slow coming out from Nova, though, preventing them from being able to follow. So they are going to back out of there nice and safe and sound. Pebble's sitting on his Blood Chalice already and having used a mana pot to get himself a little bit more fuel in the tank. But with that Ward of Sight being in the Legion jungle, that is going to slow down his farm a little bit as far as Parasite goes, because he does, you know, going from hard camp to hard camp is really the most efficient way to do it. But since, you know, he'll work with what he's got, and if he can get lucky with one of those medium camps spawning a Minotaur or something like that, that gives him a really good gank potential.
And do you find that you can keep up with levels of your solo laners when you're in jungle with Parasite? Or
yeah, you should be able to. And there's the Ring of the Teacher pickup from Parasite there as well, so that will help his creeping all the more. Slither being caught behind a Behemoth stun and actually picking up a kill as Andromeda put herself a little bit too far forward. The death going to be going down onto Slither. Intel being picked up onto that Vindicator. They're not going to be able to finish off this Pebbles, but they will harass him back towards the tower. Going to go ahead and probably truck it back to lane, get some health. Back to tower, I should say. First tier, so he can meet up with his courier.
Yeah, it looked as though Pebbles tried to chuck the Slither to deny him, since it does do damage to, you know, the unit you're tossing, but it didn't quite work out. Well, and he did have the dot from Vindicator, so 2 birds, 1 Pebble. Alright, let's see. As for the lanes in general, I was going to say about the first game that if Torture wasn't banned, I can see Torture and Plague Rider being a fairly even matchup. They both have significant nuking power, and Torture does have a decent mana pool where you can kind of spam enough to really combat Plague Rider, who obviously has his Extinguish ability and has unlimited supply of spammage.
Yeah, and being that he's also going to be backed up by Parasite there, that he should be able to, I would think, be able to maintain lane control and maintain a good solid advantage over Torturer. Just depends on how active Parasite is and how effective they are in that creep denying process, and getting those last hits there as well. As top, we've got, nice block coming out from Behemoth there as he stops the initiation from Pebbles, managing to stop him off from getting any more onto that Vindicator. So how are we looking so far as just actual individual lane matchup? Silhouette is level 6, and looks like Soul Stealer's only level 5, so I'm going to assume that Silhouette is winning that lane. She is currently at 274 gold per minute with 29 creep kills and 12 denies, whereas Soul Stealer is sitting at 21 and 5, so it does have just a little bit of an edge on Soul Stealer so far. And I believe she also... no, neither of them have any kills or deaths, so it's still anyone's game mid, but Silhouette definitely having an early advantage. Plague Rider being tanked on there a little bit at bottom. Torturer going to be taken down, though, by this Parasite in just a little bit. Going to be able to run up here. He has his leech up in just another second. There it is. Can he actually get it to throw out there? That Shroud being his bane. There it is. Gets the kill. Nicely done. That going ahead and picking up his boots, so that will give him some extra added mobility for the rundown. That leech stealing movement speed is always a really nice sided benefit there as well for that continual rundown. So if you can match or exceed their natural run speed without stealing anything, that's always great. Oh, Silhouette going down middle. Tried to land the tree grapple onto Soul Stealer, was not able to do so. Behemoth and Andro roaming to middle. I don't think Andro got anything off, but Behemoth landing a nice stun there and allowed 4 slicks on that Soul Stealer to go ahead and pick up the kill.
Yeah, Soul Stealer is always I kind of get bored seeing Soul Stealer since everyone always plays him, but Slicks is one of those Soul Stealer players that I always enjoy watching. He just has a really aggressive Soul Stealer playstyle that's, I don't know, personally fun to watch. Usually people just farm, farm, farm. With him, he obviously farms, but I don't know, he plays a little more aggressively than most Soul Stealer players I've seen.
The roam coming top here. Pebbles might be in a little bit of trouble as Andromeda's already lined up. Behemoth now coming up here to try and land something as well. Still yet another nice early roaming game coming out from Complexity Gaming as they are going to land the stuns onto Pebbles. He's going to try and do a little bit of damage to get himself out of here. Chucking Andromeda back nice and expertly there, but it's not going to be enough. He does go down, losing one of his intel to that Vindicator. I'm kind of curious looking at the top lane situation there, since Slither has been going to that top lane consistency, that he hasn't gone ahead and leveled a Toxin Ward just to be able to break that Vindicator mana drain.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention that I've seen people make this mistake, which isn't the case in this game. If you have a tri-lane Vindicator, and you're obviously going to be farming to go carry, people still level up your Master's Incantation, but he's going the correct build order. If you're in a tri-lane, you always want the Sage's Lore ability because it just helps you control your lane so easily. Vindicator in an actual laning situation, not 1v1, is really, really weak. The only way you can control the lane is if you level up that Sage's Lore, which he is doing, which you should always do if you're, even if you're going carry Vindicator. You always want to do that in a tri-lane.
Yeah, it just adds that much more harassment potential there. As we have Pebbles coming out towards mid. He is level 5. He's going to get the chuck back to Silhouette. Nicely done there. The stun, unfortunately, needing to be repositioned. Trying to ensure that No Tail picked up the kill there. But
yeah, Vindicator ultimate actually came out preventing him from stunning him.
Ah, okay.
He also ran behind. Yeah, he ran behind to try to get it off, but then once he was behind him, he didn't get it off because he couldn't.
Right. I was wondering on the delay on that whether he was just trying to reposition it or not, but
yeah,
good
well, he
eye.
was, but by the time he was, repositioned properly, he couldn't really do it, so it was funny.
As what do we got here? Though. We've got a level 6 Parasite. He's been doing a good job trying to maintain levels. As, Plague Rider is winning the lane. Torturer just now hit level 7, so that really kind of shows you the ability of this... Besides that, maybe. The ability of this Parasite to maintain levels, to have the added benefit of a silence in there. The silence really, it's nice, but considering that Emerald Warden has like a 5-second silence, whereas the most at Parasites goes up to, I think, is 4. But it's still definitely a powerful ability, and it's a nice repositioning tool, whereas Emerald Warden's natural ability does not have that same built-in repositioning rundown added into it. But I really enjoy.
The debuff swap is really good, and the cooldown is actually pretty nice. It's good. I consider like a gauntlet type ultimate, but it's a lot better in the cooldown. I think gauntlets is I'm totally blanking right now, but I think it's 100 or 120.
Asking the wrong guy. It's somewhere around that. But we have Slither getting stunned by Behemoth back at tower. Unfortunately, no one else really able to go up and do anything about it. He has gone ahead and gotten a level into his Toxin Ward, so that way he can throw that out and break the mana drain, and it maybe gives him a little bit better of a lane presence for some extra harass or general awareness, like how we saw Fresh Pro in the last game, using those wards to keep himself defensively positioned, keeping map awareness alive and staying really on the ball there. But yeah, definitely Slither being outmatched up at this top lane, given the lineup that he's against, but Slither is one of those heroes that at least last game we saw it, with Fresh Power on him there, is able to maintain a decent amount of levels so long as he can sit back and get that occasional experience. Looks like a gank might be coming mid here. There we go. There's Pebbles with the stun coming in. Nobody going to be able to do anything about that as Parasite manages to get the leech off. Hopping into this catapult, he'll probably... No, he's just going to go ahead and ride it out, trying to do a little bit extra damage. But that's another nice thing on Parasite, is just his general escape mechanism, because not only is Infest a nice ability that you can utilize for farming in the jungle and things of that sort, but you're able to hop into magic immune creeps or hop into a lane creep or even a neutral creep as someone's about ready to gank you or get you and make a swift escape. So he's kind of versatile in that.
Looks as though Slither may...
Yep, and does go down to the Andromeda's Comet stun coming out.
So I'm going to correct myself. I actually looked it up because I don't have the exact knowledge. So Gauntlet's ultimate is 80, 70, and 60, so it's a lot shorter than I thought. So never mind what I said.
As bottom, here we go.
Top once again. Oh dear.
Bottom, we're going to see Torturer go down yet again there to the combination of Parasite and Plague Rider. Just so much slow potential I love running that combination in lane there because Plague Rider's nuke is such an amazing slow and disable, and combine that with the speed drain from Leech on that Parasite, and there's just no way they can outrun you. And you're going to get those auto attacks off. You're going to get all of that done. Yeah, they're going to have to see. Oh, there's the toss. Oh, a nice combination going out. Unfortunately, did not manage to land the tree grapple, but they are blocked on their retreat. And looks like we might see both Pebbles and Silhouette go down here. Pebbles definitely, Behemoth stun up. Yeah, there we go. Goes ahead and breaks the ultimate because he was pretty sure they weren't going to catch it. Vindicator not going to be able to finish it, though, with the one that he has. Plague Rider ultimate going out. Unfortunately, no one else around to bounce to. They do pick up the kill onto Behemoth. And looks like Plague Rider's going to be drained really fast here. It's not going to get the kill.
Unfortunate. I think Slicks and Soulstealer missed just about every demon hand. I think he missed. He hit one demon hand, I think, out of 4 he ended up using throughout that engagement.
Very unfortunate.
Well, ping-wise, he's definitely suffering. You can always say that, but that was definitely unfortunate. Would have had the easy kill in Soulstealer. Not Soulstealer, I mean Soullight.
You know, I didn't even notice it, but they moved Kiwi Kid to Torturer.
Yeah.
Had you noticed that from the beginning? That was...
Yeah, I did. But Vindicator is Toronto's hero, while Torturer is pretty much jack of all trades. I mean, anyone can... He's a hero that's played by many, so I can expect many people to have experience with him. Vindicator is a little more unusual, as in the middle lane.
Yeah, in middle lane we do have Torturer. He was jumped on by this Pebbles, but they are going to be able to get the chain CC off, and Parasite able to come in and mop up in the end there, using that Leech and his ultimate for the nice the face hug. Got up all sweet and cuddly with him.
And with the plus 100 move speed after he uses the Leech and his Ghost Marchers, you can kind of just jump in there, kill, and run out before they can react. Especially they burned all their stuns killing Pebbles.
And he is using the same skill build that I go with there. You know, wanting to max out his Leech and getting the Infest based on, you know, the amount of times he's going to be using it. So he had that lower leveled and did go ahead and decide to max that out now as top. We do see Silhouette maybe going to go down. Oh, a nice swap coming out from Andro. Going to seal the deal, drawing him back into tower there. A good attempt to escape with the tree grapple, but just not quite fast enough, and really kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, as they're going to spot Pebbles trucking his way out of there, but not going to be able to follow it up. As Slither and Plague Rider doing a little bit of push on this Torturer down here at bottom. Looks like Parasite's coming in. Are they going to be able to land the slow is the question. There's the slow. Here's the other one. Coming in with the silence. They're going to be able to finish up this Torturer just really quick there. Unfortunately, Parasite not going to have any mana whatsoever left after that, catching the Sage's lore from Vindicator. But still a nice exchange going out. Parasite now maybe in a little bit of trouble is going to be able to escape. Nicely done. Picking up the phase boots as well for that increased chase down potential. So far, pretty much picking up everything, at least as far as what I
they accidentally stacked stuns too on Parasite. They both were trying to catch up to him, and they both caught up to him at the same time. So the Comet stun and the Behemoth Fissure caught him at the same exact time. So
we're not able to chain it.
Yeah, and duration-wise, they last the same amount of time. Each is 1.75 seconds. So kind of suck.
Yeah, MSI keeping this Fresh Pro on Plague Rider at being able to maintain levels where he's at right now. Just one more level and he'll have that level 2 ulti, and he's going to be devastating in the team fight, pairing nicely with the Parasite, who is using... That's another added benefit that you'll sometimes see used on Parasite, is to hop into a creep and just ride it back to base, because it's going to be faster movement speed than what you can have yourself. So that's another one of those little tips that you can use if you're on your way back to base and you know you're heading that way. Might as well hop into a creep with your Infest max leveled for good movement speed bonus. And truck it on back.
Yeah, so you prefer the exact same thing, huh? 4-4, none in the third one.
Yep, and then you'll pick that up very last. And then by the end game, depending on what he goes ahead and goes for items here, he has picked up the Neophytes book. So I'm going to... guess that's a part of a couple different things there. Hang on, what do we got mid? Mid we have Silhouette swapping out for her illusion. As Skeleton King comes out here, lands the grab onto Torture, following up with all the moves. A nice pounce on the Plague Rider ultimate, continuing the chase here onto this Vindicator. Silhouette does have her tree grapple, not going to be able to get it off onto him though. Doesn't matter, he's going down. And very nicely done from this Legion team reacting. I don't think they were quite ready for Parasite to be there. That is one negative side effect to Parasite being in a creep, is that he doesn't show up on your minimap anymore. he just shows up as the little creep, so he's definitely a lot harder to spot, so you have to be really, really good in your communications and letting them know what you're doing, when you're going, and getting out to lane at the right timing there. But it all worked out in the end, so nice pick off.
Oh, they're action at bottom.
Yeah, action at bottom as we see Parasite and Silhouette going on to Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer has nothing he can do. Gonna be going down. Yeah, just very, very, very dominating here so far on this.
Yeah, if anyone has been wondering, I haven't really mentioned it, but the fact that Torture got caught over and over again, they did have a ward placed earlier on, but Nova countered it. I think I saw him counter it twice.
So we are currently 18 minutes into this game. Not quite the disparaging difference that we had the last game, but Nova going to be going down to the combination of the Comet stun, followed up by the Torturer stun as well there. So very unfortunate.
He got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, he was getting that ward placed out there, and unfortunately came back to bite him in the butt. So that's what you get. As we see another push bottom here, Plague Rider coming out with Silhouette. Silhouette going to be doing a little bit of the scouting with her illusion. There we go, spotting that. And holy cow, that is a really dead behemoth. No pun intended, since he is kind of a cow. But nicely done there as they pick him off immediately. Soulstealer going to be able to back up with the comfort of his teammates blocking their pursuit. But nicely done yet again coming out from MSI, getting these combinations off lickety-split and just way too fast for anyone to be able to react. Very unfortunate Plague Rider ultimate there, was not able to follow it up. The silence from Vindicator coming out, not going to be able to stop too much at this point, as most everything's already come out onto the board and being picked up there in the end. So nice play coming out from MSI all around here.
Their damage output at this point is just so weak. Vindicator is hardly at the point where he's farmed, actually choosing to go forward the more the typical, it's not typical route, it's the old school route with Astrolabe build. Especially now that it's cheaper, I guess it's more viable, and they really do need it because they have no damage, so if they can survive, maybe they can dish out enough, but Soul Stealer is their main form of damage. Behemoth can't really get in team fights, and Andromeda for him to, or for her to swap is pretty difficult. Torture is only level 9, so they really are lacking. If they have stacks in the jungle, they do have, I see, one, maybe they can catch up somewhere, but...
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling pretty worried for this Complexity Gaming so far, as, I mean, this Silhouette is probably going to be able to take on just about anyone on their team, and she's getting some serious farm right about now. We have action middle as the combination goes out onto Andromeda. Pebbles going to pay with his life for that. Unfortunately getting caught out and eating a stun, and some follow-up there from that. As, here we go, Torturer going to be coming in on Silhouette. They're going to be able to pick up the kill onto Silhouette. Parasite picking up Andromeda with his ultimate. And Leech combination, going to be trying to run back to check on the creeps. But no, they haven't done anything to that creep camp since you stole that Minotaur. So you're stuck with a little Gotar there, buddy. So nice.
Pretty funny.
I guess it was pretty just chaotic in that. They had, oh god, they had Pebbles get caught out on his own, and then they all came in pretty nicely there to try and back him up, but it just didn't quite go the way they were hoping, and Silhouette got caught and focused down really quickly there as well.
Yeah, so I'm just going to throw it out there. It's probably obvious, but Complexity, same as last game. That's pretty much what people say DWI is, or Complexity rather. I'm just going to keep saying that, the two words, Complexity and rather. Alright, but they are sort of known for having not exactly a turtle strat, but yeah, kind of just sitting back and leveling, farming, and then just really pulling out with their, Vindicator, Jeremiah pick. Because if you have that, 4 or 5 seconds of silence at level 2 and 3, and then in the meantime you can dish out enough damage, then that's okay.
Soulstealer picking up a stacked Ancients here. That might help his farm just a little bit, as he does have his Portal Key. I don't know if we've seen that truly in action as far as a combination with his ultimate going off or anything. But he does have that. We're 21 minutes into the game. MSI currently leading by 8,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Make that 9,000 experience and about 13,000 gold or so. As there's the Blink combination going out from Soulstealer. Not really doing the most damage with his ultimate, though. Unfortunately, Pebbles was hugging a little bit to the right. Not going to absorb all of that Soulstealer ultimate. But he did, I guess, he had the opportunity, was going to go for it. Now he's going to be forced to back it up a little bit, as we have a really spread out battle taking place here, as Slither being caught middle, unfortunately left to his own devices. As there's the Vindicator silence going out. They are going to be able to pick up Soul Stealer once more. Apparently Slither was just a little distraction, a little bait being thrown out there enticingly. As Plague Rider are going to be trying to run out. The combination going out to pick off Torturer as well. Not a fight going well for this Complexity Gaming. I keep wanting to say DWI. But, wow.
Yeah, but he missed a lot of his ultimate. He's trying to get a good one off. Like, he doesn't want to use it on just one person, but...
Yeah, still not having picked up the portal key yet, so not really able to get the best of positioning for that. Oh! That's kind of unfortunate. He does go ahead and pop his ultimate. Unfortunately, the creep wave had not spawned right when he did it, so his ultimate did not bounce. So unfortunate there. Nice thought coming out, but unfortunately was just a little bit off on the timing. But yeah, that certainly would have done some damage.
Either he was hoping the Myth was near him, but I think that, like you said, he was waiting for the creep wave to spawn, because he did it at the exact time, you know. But
and we see Plague Rider, by the way, picking up the Soul's Bulwark with his good form that he's been getting so far. And keeping on the negative armor aspect right now. So yeah, Plague definitely sitting on a big stack of coins. What is he sitting at farm-wise? 379 gold per minute, sitting on 951 gold. He has his Steam Boots, Astrolabe, and Shaman's Headdress. Slither coming up to do a little bit of warding, I would imagine, getting caught out there. Didn't manage to catch that on my camera. Hopefully, did you see that on Onaprayer?
I saw the end of it. It looked as though he was coming into ward.
Yep, I think that's what he was going for there. And unfortunately, as all good warders know, you're going to die a few times trying to get to your goal. But a nice triple stack being done by Silhouette down in the jungle. So her just increasing that farm. And speaking of, like what I was saying earlier, she's just gonna she is so powerful when she gets that farm behind her. It's gonna be so hard for them to stop her. And I don't think I really am not feeling real hopeful for DWI or Complexity Gaming here on this so far.
Looks like he's going for his Shrunken Head. If you use that after Vindicator ultimates, he not only will break the silence, but he won't get silence of Vindicator's aura once he jumps in. So if he uses it afterwards, he'll jump in and be able to combo someone.
Indeed he will, as Slicks has called for a pause in this game. Not sure why yet, but oh, okay. Accidental click or something. As Soul Stealer and Andromeda, along with Vindicator, are lined up at this top lane. Maybe going to try and get something off. Here's the, portal key in, but no follow-up whatsoever for it. As Soul Stealer kind of, I don't know whether he was, what he was planning for there.
Behemoth really close to portal key, by the way. He's got about 1,800 plus gold saved up.
That will definitely do something for this
I hope they wait at
Complexity.
top lane. It really looks like they're gearing up for a fight, and I don't know if they should take it. They probably want to wait until he has it, because that would be just really awesome. If they lose another team fight before he gets it, it might be, too little too late.
Oh, the Silhouette, just crazy. So, yeah, I was wanting to mention, we do have the Prodex pickup on Parasite, as it is one of his recommended items there to go with that. I myself prefer Hellflower, but that's just, that's me. I like to be able to disable and play a little bit more of a disabler role, and it increases his damage output just so much. It puts his damage up closer to 200, and then, of course, every time he swings, he gets that 24% bonus damage. So my preference is to go for Hellflower. You can piece it together. It's a little cheaper bit by bit, and you get added benefit throughout. But Codex also being a viable pickup there for the extra added damage. If you can manage to hit them physically with your Draining Venom, then you can combo it with that Codex, and they'll take an extra 24% damage from it. So I'm not going to argue it, but it's still a nice pickup. And they've got a solid lead in this game. So even if they want to go for more of the instantaneous pick-off strat, like with this Parasite, I can understand that.
Well, if he jumps Vindicator, then it silences him and his aura won't work, so he can effectively take him out before he does anything, right?
Yeah. So that might be more specifically what they're wanting to line up for the Codex pick here on that.
Yes. So you just basically face hug, hit them once, and then Codex.
Yep. That's how you get in there. Because you have to...
I like that.
I know that on the forums they were discussing the possibility, you know, there are some people who are saying that his Draining Venom needs to be a really small AoE around himself, so that way everything does less damage to him and everything takes more damage from him. But I think right now he's pretty well balanced for where he needs to be. He might need a little tweaking somewhere, but I think he's still a pretty solid hero. And as we've seen in this game so far, at least when matched up with a Plague Rider there, just leads to total lane domination, and that definitely really has helped them a lot in keeping that Kiwi Kid Untorturer down. As top, we're going to see the Behemoth ultimate going out with his newly found portal key, catching this Plague Rider unaware, managed to take him down. Here comes Silhouette, she goes down as well. Andromeda maybe going to be joining in on the fun. There she gets her Comet Stun off, taking Slither down there. Nicely done, DWI, or Complexity Gaming. A nicely fought team fight there, managing to pick up a little bit of a recuperation from that. So gotta definitely give him a little bit of pat on the back for that. As far as waiting for patiently, because they had a pretty good set up top. They could have gone earlier, but it was nice of them to wait for that portal key and ensure that they were going to get that off. The Behemoth ulti wasn't the most clutch in the world right there. Didn't do a whole lot of damage, but just the coming in with a stun that nobody's expecting and following it up from that. That's just it was well done on that fight.
Yeah, that's what they needed. Just wait until he was so close to it. Just wait it out, and that that pretty much. Well, there's still a huge experience gap. It's 7,500, but that went a long way to helping him recover and get back into the game.
Yeah, and Plague Rider was not able to get his ultimate off that fight too, which is another huge key part of that as well. But you were going to say?
I'll say with the amount of magic damage and nuking power that MSI has, it's really nice that Toronto on the Vindicator's side to go for the more traditional build with the Astrolabe and Shaman's Headdress as opposed to the DPS route with like Hellflower and maybe even a Nullstone. It's just, this is a cheaper way of being very effective with his aura going to work while he's, sustains in a team fight. And eventually the int gain will do enough damage, I mean, he will be racking it up. He has plus 14 at the moment.
Another interesting thing here I noted on Parasite is he's gone ahead and switched out his Ghost Marchers that he had earlier for that good, being able to run up, get the speed transfer, and use your face hug, and get in there and do some extra damage. He swapped those out for Steam Boots now, which is part of the reason that I go for Hellflower, because Parasite's attack speed is abysmal. He's really horrible at swinging. So when you get that item that increases his attack speed, it just makes him so much more effective. So instead of going that route, he goes for the Codex and the Steam Boots, swapping out and going for Steam Boots instead there to help amp up that attack speed. As we're going to see Vindicator getting picked off very early here. Oh, a Silence coming out onto him, but unfortunately not able to follow up. Parasite being taken down. Soul Stealer coming in, doing some damage. Going to get swapped out, saving him from any possible further attack. Plague Rider ultimate getting some nice lucky bounces. Wow, that was some crazy bounces. Torture being finished up there as well. Oh, so unfortunate. I think it looked like DWI was going to be able to get a nice initiation off there, but unfortunately got it turned back on him. But nicely played from MSI, managing to make the most out of that.
At the end. He chucks Silhouette right on top of him and he uses Death Lotus, but it wasn't enough. He did give away the ward there, though. They know that there's a ward there now, so I'd expect them to counter-ward it, but they are going to push the tower in the meantime.
Oh, it's the immediate portal key away from Soul Stealer, forces Parasite deep inside enemy base. Gonna have to back up just a little bit. His Codex and stuff is on cooldown, so he's not gonna be of much use right now. Pebbles might go down here to the auto attacks. No, the Behemoth ultimate coming in. Nicely done there, managing to pick up the kills. Plague Rider going down as well alongside there. Behemoth nobly sacrificing himself, so... Still, I mean, Behemoth in these team fights, that is just such a massive thing that you can manage to pull off. Coming in, getting that ultimate off, it just does so much damage, just such a good disable. He is really what they got to hope to be able to, to make the most out of here. Look at that Parasite. Immediately slows him and then just goes right back to work.
Yep. And like you said, that dot on the map is just really hard to keep track of. I never even noticed it. Like, even though you think you would, like when I see some random catapult running by. It kind of gives it away.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people sit obliviously in lane as you run by them as a Minotaur to land the stun as they try and run back. So it's it's definitely a nice little. I mean, I don't know, it's not probably an intended buff, but it is a buff. It is something that's nice. You don't see that appearance on your mini-map, which is a big giveaway. And Andromeda being the stun being missed by Pebbles there onto that Andromeda. No follow-up to come through on that, but. hopefully after this game we'll start to see Parasite a little more. I think that at least with the combination of Plague Rider and Parasite, where you can combo him in that solo lane, to where you don't really have to worry about weakening your solo lane so much by having a jungler, because Parasite is such a heavy gank hero, that we'll get to see him a little bit more often here, since he's definitely, I think he's proven himself so far this game as far as being a very important player so far. And well played, by the way, to fly on him.
Yeah, 7-1 and 7 overall. He helped maintain control for his, for his laning teammates throughout the early and middle stages of the game. So it's can't argue his effectiveness. I mean, especially in middle lane, that early save, the silhouette, was huge.
Yeah, that save there. Oh, and speaking of a nice save, there's the swap coming out from Andro.
He ultimated away.
Oh. But yeah, here's the Plague Rider ultimate. Not going to be able to do too many bounces, but it goes back to the creeps. And another Behemoth ultimate to change the tide of the battle. Comes in there, picks up the kill. Behemoth going to be going down yet again, unfortunately. Soul Stealer going down as well in the back there. Pebbles coming around from the side to finish that up. Vindicator going to be going down. We have a near genocide. Andromeda being the only survivor. Oh, not a good exchange going out for...
He swapped him as he was in mid-ultimate, so his ultimate took place
well behind.
From where he swapped, yeah.
Was it going to pick him up a kill, though? It didn't look like he really...
Well, it was going to do damage, and actually it does damage, and it slows the ones it hits, but I don't even think it was in range to slow.
Hit anyone.
It does, I think, minus 15% base damage or something. It's actually, yeah, it's minus 25% base
damage. Oh, I see.
Which on Silhouette is pretty
Silhouette would have been big.
Kind of goes, yeah.
Well, it was a little bit of a minor, I guess, maybe misplay on that, but he did he got healed from Vindicator though as well once he got swapped back, so that's why he was sitting as healthy as he was after that little bit of exchange. So whether or not the swap was the right decision to make there, I think that he probably was going to go down if he didn't get the swap. He might have gotten his ultimate off, but he would have been out of the fight a lot quicker. And
yeah, they kind of forced things too. Like once that happened, they kind of went all in instead of maybe resetting. Because I mean, that Soulsteer ultimate is huge. If they couldn't have that in the team fight, maybe they would have been better off just trying to get out of there and sacrifice the Andromeda, who ended up surviving, ironically. But yeah, I would say that they probably should have reset, as Silhouette's gonna swap with her. Yeah.
Yeah. Figured that was gonna happen. What do we have going on here? Are they lining up to see if Kongor's being attempted, or no? Just running around. Plague Rider. I was wanting to touch on items here. I hadn't done that in a while. I don't know if we even got to it the last time I mentioned it. Parasite coming up in a Minotaur, rocking it out. He has Codex level 4 now. Oof, that's gonna hurt. Codex level 4, Steam Boots, Ring of the Teacher, and Bottle of Tears, and Power Supply. Silhouette, however, being the primary farmer on their team, has Savage Mace, Nullstone, Steam Boots, Shrunken Head, and Power Supply there, along with the Wraith Band. And they're going to be able to take this Kongor down really quick. And that is another one of the added benefits of Parasite, is being able to be in a creep. You get that extra HP pool to start out a fight, so you can do that little bit of preemptive scouting. Oh, Behemoth! So unfortunate getting picked off there. Yeah, that was unfortunate. There we go. The slow coming out onto Parasite. He's gonna get the ultimate off there. He probably should have opened with that to begin with. Not so lucky there on that. Soul Stealer does have a Shrunken Head activated. I don't think he's going to be able to DPS down this Silhouette before she can take him down. No, she is not. And yeah, this is going to be the beginning of the end here, as Vindicator goes down. Torturer does survive, but not going to be able to stop them from taking this these Raxes mid here, especially if they go ahead and stick it out with that that negative armor aura. Do they have creeps in the base, or is this... I guess they do have that one archer there, so maybe not quite qualified as backdooring, but they are going to go ahead and take down this middle set of racks. And that is going to be a huge tilt in this balancing act so far that we've seen, and really looks like MSI is going to be clinching a good solid win here pretty soon at this rate.
Yeah, really impressive. With that previous fight where they kind of forced things after Soul Stealer Ultimate didn't really work out, that set them a little bit too far ahead. After that, they were kind of at a 12,500 experience advantage. That's now jumped to, yeah.
And that's the end of the game. Behemoth coming in to try and get him a little bit of his dignity back, but unfortunately does not. So yeah, very well played by Fnatic MSI. So wow, this is the Game Replays Tournament Season 4 matchup between Complexity Gaming, formerly DWI, versus Fnatic MSI. Fnatic MSI taking the series 2-0. Very well played, nicely done. Not much more I can say on it. Very, very happy I got to see Parasite in this game. Very, very glad to see that he was played as well as he was. So congratulations to MSI, winning their $1,400, 2,200 gold coins, and 5 SteelSeries Siberian V2 headsets, but also well played to Complexity Gaming, making it this far into the tournament, and putting up a pretty decent fight, and earning themselves $700, 1,200 gold coins, 5 SteelSeries 4H headsets. So wow, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Onaprayer?
No, very impressive set of games for MSI. Nice job with the different pickups from both teams. First game and the second game, seeing new heroes put into action, always nice. But just really, really solid gameplay. Throughout this entire Game Replays tournament, MSI has just been on top, and unquestionably so. I mean, I haven't seen any team that's really given them a real run for their money. I mean, I thought that SK would, but it's going to be interesting to see which team rises up to really knock them off their throne.
Yep, they have been playing very stellarly as of late, and just for, I mean, they've been a top team for a really long time. Really enjoy watching MSI. Be sure to check out the Game Replays live streams, where you can catch a lot of these players doing their live streams. Of course, I know NoTail does live streaming. I think Fresh Pro, most all of the guys there do some live streams. So be sure to watch that. Those are always a treat to watch. Thank you also very much to our sponsors, TeamSpeak 3, Own TV, and SteelSeries Professional Gaming Gear. This has been minoxen and Onaprayer, and we will catch you guys next time.